Okay, how's this working?
I can see that. I just need to answer it on my other phone.
Oh, okay. So far, so good. All right. All right. We looking good so far. I just don't know if how live we are just yet. But if nothing else, we can take care of the messy stuff, and then we can repost if nothing else. Okay. Video, sound, add to group. Okay.
Okay, there we go. I just phones.
All righty. Now, okay, I see us all there starting to come in. Let me try to get this. There we go. That's beautiful. Okay, so we'll just do. Hi, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for doing this
Hello.
with me. I'm so excited.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I know we had talked about trying to do a roundtable for a long time, and so many of the projects that I got going on, and my team of 12 wise men, they've kept me so busy. I just didn't have time, so I apologize, but I thought this would be cool to do. So thank you for being here. So I have questions that everybody has sent to me. So in those questions, I'm going to ask you those questions, and I want you to each answer them. And I'll answer a few too, but mainly I just want you guys to do the answering of the questions, because I know that we all have had our different ways of pursuing our filming careers and our different accomplishments. And I think everybody has something to share that can help other people. The main thing I want to make clear for the people that watch the video is this video is not for casting anybody, asking any questions about getting cast. This is an opportunity for us to share what we're doing, how we doing it, not to tell you how to do what to do, but just give you some options to choose. And then the other thing is, what we give you is just our way of doing what we've done, but you still have to do your own due diligence.
Yes.
I get emails, I get text messages, I get inboxes. You post on my post constantly about what I do, and the answer is still the same. No matter what I share with you on what I do, you still got to do your own due diligence and your own work to get to the dream goal you want to accomplish.
Right.
That's my
Absolutely.
disclaimer. I'm doing no music because I don't own no music, and I don't want no issues about no music.
That's right.
By the way, I've been watching Ozark, and you got me so crazy hooked on that thing. It is nuts. So I'm only in
Oh
season
yeah.
one, but that bad boy right there is nuts.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
that's crazy.
so okay, so here's the first thing that we have. Hey Marcus, so Marcus is plugged in. LaShawn is plugged in. I don't know what you guys can see, but I still have the live chat in. So I hope you guys can hear. So if you can't hear, I want you to speak up loud so that way I can answer. But I may repeat just so they can know that you're answering the question, just in case. And this is our first time doing this, so we're going to have bumps in the road. That goes with the territory, right? Okay, here's
Amen.
so here's the first question that comes up. How did you come to discover yourself to become a filmmaker?
I can start off. Um, Honestly, when I came into this business, I didn't know anything about it. Initially, I wanted to get my kids into acting, and so basically, I was like, well, I'll just go to sets, do whatever, be a PA, hold the boom mic or something like that
Right.
to get some contacts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and come to find out, my kids don't like to act. But I fell in love with the business. I met my now business partner for well over 10 years, Tavares Wilson,
Mm.
and we started putting projects together. I didn't really start actually filming until there was a need to.
Okay.
We found that people that we want, had, hired to do shooting wouldn't show up. Yeah, I know we've all been there. And so it was basically a necessity for us to continue doing what we do. That I kind of stepped in there, really started learning, through various sources and other filmmakers about how to do this, and I'm still learning.
Right.
Even today, this is the beautiful thing about our business is you can't master this business. It's all to the day we die. We're always going to be learning how to be better and better at the game. So, but yeah, so it was pretty much out of this. It was pretty much out of necessity, and so I bought a camera. I started shooting, started learning the intricacies of that, and then it turned into directing, which I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm from Park Heights in Baltimore. I never thought.
Be more.
Yeah, so I never thought that I would even sniff this business, let alone direct films. So it's been this business has been a blessing in that regard. It really showed me that you just you're not a product of your environment. You take what you learned in that environment and you use that to excel in whatever you want to do in life. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
All righty. All right. Who else wants to go there?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
So I started my career in broadcast television. That was my first job in the industry. So I have a bachelor's degree in mass communications, and I was one of the fortunate ones that actually got my job before I graduated, because a lot of other people graduated and went to Kinko's. I had my job working at a TV station, which was awesome. Working in live TV taught me a lot. It taught me how to work under pressure, how to deal with things that you've planned that don't fall through. They don't pan out and whatnot, and that helps me a lot on set as I'm producing my shows or my films and dealing with all the different intricacies. So while I was there, I went to film school and I got a master's in film because I've always loved television anyway. I was that kid that memorized the commercials,
right?
That would irritate people. So I went and got my degree in it. I went from broadcast TV to public television. I've worked video, and this is back home in Virginia because I'm from Virginia, but I live in Charlotte right now. And I ended up getting laid off. So I was a producer doing a television show and got laid off because public TV is publicly funded. And I had to figure out what to do. So I ended up actually going into retail. And that retail job led me here to Charlotte. And when I got here to Charlotte, I was really trying to get back into the business, did all these interviews. I had won an award for my work in public television. Nobody would hire me. So we bought a laptop. We got a MacBook Pro and 2 cameras, and I started shooting stuff for other people because I'm like, I've been doing this while I was in TV for a long time, and why not start doing it for other people? I have a degree, and I know what I'm doing. And even though I have a master's in film, I took even more writing classes, and I'm just continually educating myself, just like you said, we're constantly learning. And from there, just started building relationships and had my highs and lows and whatnot. But I figured out that I'm really good at what I do, that I'm a great writer, I'm a great producer, I can put people together and make things happen. I've done a lot of casting as well. And just starting from nothing, like not having connections here in Charlotte, not having people hire me. I mean, there were times I would just be like, hey, I'll work for free. And nobody would hire me, which I thought was just very interesting. So
that is interesting.
Instead of me sitting around complaining about it, I just decided, you know what? Since you're not going to let me at your table, I'm just going to build my own and bring my own chairs and do my thing. And so now I'm the person that people come to, and I don't mean that in a braggadocious manner. I mean that in a manner of I've earned the space that I'm in, And I've worked on a lot of Hollywood productions. I've worked on independent stuff for free. I've worked on stuff I've gotten paid for. And so from my journey, I went from broadcast television to working retail to getting into film. And I've learned something along the way. When I worked in TV, working in live television, it's like theater. You just got to get it right the first time. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know all the factors. And if it doesn't work out, what's my plan A, B, and C? Because the audience doesn't want to hear about how your lens broke and that's why your shots are out of focus, or that the audio went out and that's why your audio sounds bad. They just want what they paid for. They want the finished product.
Right.
And working in retail, working in retail taught me how to deal with the ever-changing industry. Because, with film, we're unemployed in between project. So with each project you might have a whole group of people you've never dealt with before.
Right.
So I wasn't used to that. Working in broadcast television, it was all of us educated people with degrees. People stayed in their job for 30 years. I didn't have to think about it. Working in retail, folks don't show up. People are qualified. You have to hire somebody because they were somebody's niece and nephew. It's exactly what happens on a film set.
Gotcha.
People don't show up. People aren't qualified. It was somebody's niece that you had to hire. And so I took both of those industries and everything I learned in those industries and put them together. And it makes me a great worker when I'm working for people, because I don't mind working for people, but it also helps me to become, be a great leader when I need to rise up. And from there, I've actually taught film classes as well. So I taught at a college locally, and I was fired from that job. That's a whole nother story, but it was the best experience ever, because that kicked me out of the nest. I needed to go, and they fired me, and now I have my own master classes as well. So every job that I have taught, or not taught, every job that I've had has taught me something that I now bring to the film set. So that's pretty much my journey in a nutshell as well.
Got you. Wow. All right, Mr. Chuck.
Well, first, let me say, Rodney, I didn't know you were from B-More. So am I. I started out probably 4 or 5 years old, just writing ideas and watching my family and friends and saying, one day I'm going to put this in a movie. One day I'm going to put this on TV. And it started the creativity and the storytelling for me. And I always knew that I would use it at some point. When, how, where, I don't know.
Right.
But I just knew it at an early age. When I went to college, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. I thought I wanted to be a teacher. I thought I was going to be 9 other things before I was just excited to graduate. I'm like, just get me out of here. I don't even care what I got to do. But I went to Ohio University Journalism School and started a 20-plus year career as a newspaper and magazine reporter and editor.
I'm freezing up, so bear with me.
Broadcasting and journalism background as well. And that allowed me to continue to be a storyteller, because I'd always written poetry and short stories and things like that, but I was always into telling stories. And by me being an introvert, it was always written. I was going to be doing spoken word poetry or things like that, but I found a way to tell stories through the media, and then I ended up starting my photography company because I hung with the photographers at the papers and magazines, and I self-taught, myself there, started a studio, and then I figured out how to marry the visuals with the words. And so that's kind of how the filmmaking side came about. And then when I moved to Georgia in 2011 is when I officially went full steam ahead as a filmmaker. And of course, still doing the other stuff, the photography, book writing, book publishing. But the primary goal for moving to Atlanta was to do film.
Oh, okay. Keisha just keyed in. Keisha, the question was, how did you come to discover yourself to become a filmmaker? And we know from you, from actor to filmmaker, so talk more in depth from starting from that beginning.
Hi guys, I'm Keisha Rose. I'm here in Chicago. I'm usually in Chicago and Atlanta, so hello. I started off as a model, actress. I love both sides, so I can't, either one is good with me, but I just find being behind the camera, creating more, writing more, directing and producing just it's nothing better than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I guess coming from the actor's world, the acting world, and knowing what to do, I know what I'm looking for exactly when I'm behind that camera. What it is, I just love being the visionary, if you will, of how that whole scene and how it should look and everything like that. So, yes. So here I am now, filmmaker. So my partner and I, we are just trying to get out there. So that was short and sweet, right?
That was real. Look, I was thinking in my head, dang, I got back just in time, didn't I? I mean, I heard you because I got it all live and blasted in my room. But I thought I better play it safe and get my cell phone and record it at the same time, because I know I'm live, but I can't tell if I'm live with you. So I want to make sure that I get everything in. So.
Yes.
So
I'm currently producing and directing with my partner G Rose Production, and then my partner Glenn Murray. We are now producing and directing a talk show called Making Love Better Together here. We're on our 13th episode. We're getting ready to get up to our 13th episode, and that was through the order of a local TV station here that saw it, and they actually ordered 13 episodes to air on their thing. So we're excited about that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
So we're going to see how that does in the Chicago market, because it's a local Black-owned television company. So within Chicago, it'll be on Xfinity and AT&T and WOW and RCN and the Fire Stick. So launch date for that, hoping, is still July. So with everything going on, we heard July as of yesterday. So we're excited about that. So now we're getting ready to shoot a couple of documentaries and a short film that we wrote. So we may be bringing that to Atlanta. We have our eye on the actress there in Atlanta. So we're thinking about coming down there with our cameras, and then the documentary, we're going to be definitely down there throughout the South filming that.
Beautiful, boy. I knew I picked the right ones. You guys got amazing stories, I'm telling you. Well,
I know. I was honored and blessed to work with Tone. I started off as the handler in the exchange, and we've just that chemistry. When you find someone that can direct you and work with you, and she knows exactly what she's looking for, and I love her because she won't settle for anything else. So you have no choice but to step it up, bring it up, whatever you need to do to get there. And she's patient enough to wait till you get there. I think that's one of the things that stand out with her. She's just not like, okay, yeah, now we're done. She will give you time. I mean, she has to move on, but she will give you a minute to get there. So.
Well, thanks for sharing that part, because most people are knowing of me of just getting rid of them. People here stick to the negative more than to the positive. So they get caught up on, oh, she let so and so go, but you didn't know what I did with so and so before so and so was gone.
I know.
And I know you filmmakers understand that. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess that means that's my turn. So basically, for me, now that I've done as much as I've done, I realize it's been in me since I was a child. Because I had this weird thing about me where TV, I could always sit in front of TV, always entertained, but I would literally record TV shows on a little cassette recorder and go to sleep with them and visualize the filming, the storyline. I just enjoyed it that much that's how I would do it. But I didn't realize it was in me at that time. But for myself, basically how I started was I just wrote a novel. God had given me a novel called Rough Patch Twisted Fate. I wrote that novel in like 2.5 hours on my job when I was supposed to be working. All my characters came from everything I saw around me. Whether it was Dale Montgomery, the lead was the Dale computer. And just whatever would pop up, I would just be like, oh, I'll name this character this or that. But it was all from something that was around my job, that was a piece of equipment or screwdriver, whatever. And then, so I'm not dyslexic, but I'm not very good at, I learn by visual better than I do when you're trying to teach me or tell me something.
Yeah, me too.
And
Me too.
see,
I'm better. If you want to show me something, I got it visually.
and that's what I realized and learned was that's the gift that most filmmakers have from that. So I wrote the book, and of course, I was strictly into prayer, and not was, but I'm strictly into prayer. So I'm praying over this book. God, I've never written a book before. How do I even get it published? I learned about Amazon. I published it on Amazon. Then I started doing this meetup group thing where I would meet up with people that like reading books. So they read my book, they liked it, and then I was at a fan club book reading, and one of the readers just simply said they would love to see the characters in live in a performance. And I'm like, oh my God. So I shopped around, actually. I didn't think of myself filming it. I shopped around. And in my shopping around, I got a lot of people that were trying to take advantage of me because they thought I was not in the know, which I wasn't, but I knew what being taken advantage was. And as a matter of fact, that's how I actually got connected with Rodney, because I had sent him a message and he responded, but he was working on a project at a time and he didn't believe in starting something and then doing something halfway, which earned a great deal of respect from me for him. So I always just kind of stayed connected to him in any way I could, and through Facebook, it just made it possible to do that. So basically, the short end of my story. The people that wanted it, they wanted to rewrite it, but they wanted to put their name on it, and I was determined that it was mine. I didn't want to give it away. So I went to YouTube, and I studied everything on YouTube on how to put a film script together, to how to cast, how to write, how to direct. Everything I did, I learned either on YouTube or I went to the library, got books. I studied Spike Lee, Steven Spielberg, all those different filmmakers that are out there, Quentin Tarantino. I just studied them until I figured out what my niche was. Then once I learned what my niche was, then I put my own personal ethics and principles to it, to what I'm willing to deal with and what I'm not willing to deal with, because I'm not a named person, you have the tendency of people that want to treat you like disrespectful, and I was determined that ain't going to happen. I know who I am. I know what the gift that is in me. If you can't work with me well enough that way, then you don't need to be with me. So that's when I started saying, I'm okay if you don't fit. So once I got that together, then I just started filming Rough Patch Twisted Fate, and I was willing to let go what wasn't supposed to be there and just trust God to provide what was needed. When I saw God just providing, everything fell into place. Boom, we were done. One of my good friends that I did voiceovers with, he was like at one of my sets and said, "You're really serious about this?" I said, "Yes, I am." So when he realized how serious I was, then that's when he put me in the program for the 12 Wise Men. And then after that, they just took me, when they realized how committed I was, they just took me under their wings, provided me all their resources, and just been blessing me and helping me to get connected to what the things I need to do to help me grow in this business. I'm not all the way there, and I'm not trying to pretend I'm some big shot. I'm just like anybody else. I'm still grinding, working hard. Yes, I've got some opportunities in, but I am not Tyler Perry, and I am not Ava DuVernay. I'm Toné Brown, and I expect to be respected for being Toné Brown, not trying to be something that I'm not. Because what skills they have has nothing to do with my skills, because God's rising it up. And I believe that for each one of you as well. That's why I wanted to have more than myself being talking on this video, so that other filmmakers that are out there on my page, your pages, that are reaching out or watching to try to figure out how to do this thing, they can see there's no one way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's it on a nutshell for me. Y'all ready for question number 2?
Yes.
All right, here we go. I got to kind of work 2 hands together because I'm doing the cell phone and this. So, all right, here's question number 2. How do you go about investors, sponsorship for your projects? Y'all want me to start, or you want to go ahead and start?
I can start.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, for this is I'm on my ninth film, I think, somewhere around there. Um, we just started really going heavy on the investor tip, probably 2 films ago. Uh, you know, once again, we found that it was a lot easier to just and granted, it's easy to do this when you have a team behind you, but we just kind of all pile up our ends and and make something happen. You know, eh, we initially, we start out, and we start going to people trying to get money and stuff, and a lot that got a little messy at first because, quite honestly, we didn't know what to ask or how to, more importantly, how to ask it. And so, we would go to these people and it just wouldn't work out. And so finally, we were just like, well, we just need to kind of do our thing and then, let the Lord work the rest of it out.
Right, exactly.
And so yeah, that's basically, what we've been doing. Now we have people that, us doing our thing that have come into our circle that is like, hey, we like what you're doing. We want to, put X amount of dollars in. Even more, it's even been more of a blessing with us, dealing with our distributor. Now, we partner with our distributor now, and they, now invest directly into the projects now versus us, having to create the projects on our own dime and then sell it to them. So that's. But once again, that we put years of work and us, making mistakes and figuring some stuff out and then making some more mistakes and then
Yeah.
so it's been years of progression. But I mean, we're in a good space when it comes to that now.
Amen. Hallelujah. And thank you, Jesus. All right. Who wants to jump in next?
What I've done is I've only used crowdfunding once, and that was like 3 years ago. I didn't have like a big base, so I raised 10% of my goal, which hurt my feelings, but I still appreciate the money. Still took the money. And what I've done up until this point, I have financed my projects myself. And if it's got to be, I put money away or I use my income tax return, instead of going to buy X, Y, and Z, I put it into my project because I see the long-term goal.
Right.
And,
Exactly.
and like Rodney just said, sometimes you don't want to necessarily approach people and ask them because maybe they don't believe in the project, they don't understand the industry, that it's not like you just flip it and then the money comes back.
Right.
So I have taken the easy route of financing my projects myself. With my current one that I'm working on, I'm actually in the second phase right before I launch a crowdfunding. So I'm doing it differently this time because I understand crowdfunding and how to get it done. And then the people, because I'm going through Seed and Spark, and so what they do is they actually look at the campaign first, give you advice on how to be more successful. You make the changes, and then you launch it. Unlike some of the other pages, and I'm not, I don't work for them. I'm not, saying that they're the best. The experience is just different because with the other ones that I've done, you just post it. You're on your own. You don't really know if it's going to stick, if you're doing it right, or if you're going to be effective. And with this experience, it's much, much different. They are guiding us through the process. They're not making promises, but they are giving actionable information based upon their case studies to see what has worked and what hasn't. So I think this time it'll be different. In addition to the fact that I have more experience, my projects are getting better. I've chosen a site that is going to guide me through the process and help me be successful. And I also decided to use them because I have a friend who just ended her campaign maybe about a month and a half ago, and they wanted to raise $17,000. They raised 20, and it was so inspiring because she's a first-time writer. She's a dynamic actress, but then she wrote something and was like, "Hey, we need funding." She got her people together. They did a great video, and I donated because I love her and she's amazing. But when I saw that they hit 20,000 and they were only looking for 17, it really boosted my confidence. And
this was through crowdfunding?
Yeah, they went through Seed and Spark as well. And I love the fact that she herself is a new filmmaker. Now, her team, they've done other films, but she is the writer, brand new writer, first time writing a project, and they exceeded their goal. So now I'm just like in a different space now to see crowdfunding differently, because I feel like I have more skills. And so I think that's going to be something that we as filmmakers and those who are listening, understanding that the resources are there and the sources are there, but if we don't have the right tools to be able to maneuver them and strategize with them properly, we may not be as successful as someone else. And so I feel like at this point in my career, I have a lot more tools in my toolbox to be successful, where I don't necessarily have to finance it myself anymore, which I'm okay with doing, but I'd rather use somebody else's money.
Well, who don't? I like that one. That's good. That's good. Okay. Chuck it, Chuck.
Okay, I'll go. Well, a lot of starting out, we pretty much did our bootstraps. Camera, had a room, got a few people, and shot whatever we could do in that space with what we had. We kind of used that formula as we grew and built. But fortunately for me, I had someone that I actually photographed their wedding that approached me and said, "Hey, we're watching you. We see what you're doing. We got a little bit of money, not a lot. Do you want to make a movie?" I'm like, "How do you ask a filmmaker, do you want to make a movie?" Like, yeah. So it wasn't a big budget in terms of what we see as budgets now, but it was more than what we've ever had. And so we did our first feature film primarily from one investor, and it was an amazing experience. And from there, of course, with other people watching, kind of contributed to some other projects, did some other short films. And now we're actually in the midst of, we kind of suspended our crowdfunding campaign for our next feature film, which we're looking to raise $100,000 for, which is biggest budget I've ever worked with. And so we're doing it in two phases, 50 and 50. But we started right before the coronavirus hit and shut everything down. So it's like, now is not a good time to be trying to ask anybody to help us fund a film. So we've suspended it until after everything blows over. We're still working on other, funding opportunities and reaching out to people that can kind of help us build while we're not actively and publicly raising that money. So we're really excited about that project, and we know it's going to get done. It's definitely a godsend, and he sent me the main actors and everything. So really excited about that, and we know it's going to take a combination of just people seeing the project and being excited about it, as well as others that just want to be able to bless us, from the private side, and says, "Hey, yeah, I'd like to get a poster," or "Hey, I'd like to get that signed book," or whatever it is. But people that just believe in us and believe in the project. And so we try to, I hate crowdfunding. I just hate it. But I know sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And I was kind of talking to it. If I have you help me, I'm going to do it. But if
Did we lose Chuck, or was that mine? Okay, so Chuck, I don't know if you can hear us, but we just kind of lost you, darling.
Oh wow.
Okay, while Chuck get his camera right, Keisha, you want to go ahead and talk about your side of it? You want me to repeat the question, or you good?
No, I'm good. Chuck is back. Did he want to finish?
Chuck, you back?
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
what happened. They just said everything was connecting. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. I just wanted to leave with I hate crowdfunding. I hate asking for money.
Yeah.
But you got to do what you got to do when you know you're passionate about something.
That's right.
And like our project, we know that it's going to bless a lot of people. So we got to do what we got to do, by any means necessary to make it happen.
That's right. Amen.
I know.
Hallelujah. And thank you, Jesus. There we
I
go.
know.
Man.
Well, as
Got to
far
throw it
as
in there.
for us, we've been blessed. Like the minute we announced the show, um, we sent out sponsorship packets and we made it public, and we sent some privately to some people. And actually, like, I think we were on the week of filming our first show for the talk show, and we didn't have any sponsors. And we're like, okay, we'll just, invest in yourself. That's what it's there for. I think on the second night or something, right before, we filmed on Saturday. And I remember waking up on it was either Thursday or Friday morning, and we had people like, hey, how much do you need? How much do you need? We want a sponsor. We want it, because they were being promoted as well. So with the talk show, you can kind of get your sponsors, whatever they're working on or whatever their brand is, or what have you. We can put that inside the commercials and everything like that. Going forward to the local station, that's a no-brainer. Now everybody's coming, of course, because that's a bigger platform, right?
Right.
So as far as the film, what we're going to do, I don't know as far as investors as of yet. We are ready to invest in ourselves, number one. Two, we'll probably just reach out again to the same people or go a little further, or maybe do a fundraiser or two. And I have the I Am collection by Keisha Rose. So
Which I have on.
We're doing that. You have it on.
I
You
do.
have my lip gloss on right now. Thank you, Tony. So that we take funds from all of the businesses that we have separately and together, and pull it together, and day of filming, we make it happen. We've had people to just come and say, like, we have a caterer that God bless her, she came and said, hey, I will sponsor every show. Just tell me what you need. Give me the date. We have a makeup artist that's like, hey, what do you need? So we've been really, really blessed with that. So hoping going into the documentaries and the films, we're hoping to have that same thing. But we're ready and prepared, and we've been saving and putting up for those things. If we're blessed enough with investors, that's great. If not, we're still rolling. So we're hoping that they come, and like you guys, we hate asking for money. We do. So we do a lot of fundraising. We, know when to put out the lip gloss and the candles and the books and all the other things that we have to make it all work.
Exactly.
We have something in line with a big actress, so we're working with her. So we're hoping to get investors on that side. So that will probably be our biggest with her. So we'll see what happens. So far, that's where we at with that.
And I think the key that everybody says is, no matter if you do have the investors or you raise a certain amount, you're going to figure out how to get it done.
Yes.
That's right.
I think that's a key message that everybody needs to hear. It's like, yeah, this might be your goal. You might only make 10% of what you were raising, but you're going to figure out how to make something, because that's what we do.
You're going to figure it out if it's really what you're trying to do. You're going to figure it out. And then God will send the right people. Like, I promise you, we didn't have any sponsorship before, and we have to pay for crew, and we have to pay for assistants, and you have to pay for the studio and all of the equipment. And I promise you, we woke up and it was just like, what do you need? So that was such a blessing. And here we are getting ready to do 13 and end the whole season with everybody saying, what do you need? So we've been blessed on that part.
And this is another example of what I was talking about. We suspended the campaign. It's still up and active, but we haven't been publicizing or making requests or anything like that. But this morning I found out that a private donor contributed $10,000 for it.
Wow!
Congratulations!
Thank you.
There's another hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
That's a blessing.
Absolutely. And so, it's just about believing in the project and then figuring it out. So if we didn't get the entire 100,000 and all we had was 10,000, we're still gonna make it. We're gonna figure it out. We might have to shoot 3 days like Tyler Perry.
I know, right?
People are watching you, so
They
I
are.
tell people all the time, watch what you're posting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes, if somebody go to your page and you say you're a filmmaker or an actress or what have you, and I go to your page and all I'm seeing is you whining about the breakup, I don't know. You know, so.
Exactly.
Now, you know, I've been talking about that for a long time now.
I know people
If
all
you're
the
going to
time
promote your brand and you
watch
as what your talent is, not all this other stuff, but that's
use
just
your
me.
platform, use your social medias to promote. You're your best promoter. Promote yourself. Promote yourself. Invest in yourself. That's all I can tell you.
Is that Keisha? Is that Keisha?
That's me.
Yeah.
I say it so often. I'm like, I see people that's so talented, but then when you go to their page and something like nobody would know, because they're not going to take the time to go through the whole length and the timeline of the years of your page. They're going to click on and see what you're doing right now. Probably going to scroll a little bit. That's it. It's like if the movie doesn't grab you in the first 10, 15 minutes, you're out. Yeah. It's like your page.
Yeah. But I think the other thing that you said, Keisha, that's important is to utilize what we have.
Yeah.
You know, I sell books specifically to contribute to projects. We did a comedy show as a fundraiser. We're selling merchandise. Like, we're trying to be creative as possible, because sometimes we target people that have a certain interest, and they're not interested in that one thing. So they might not be interested in just going to the Seed and Spark or Indiegogo and contributing, but they might come out to a comedy event.
But they may buy something from you. Yes.
Right. Yep. So we gotta try to be as creative as possible, and then bring the entire team to contribute something to it. Say, okay, well, if you do hair, you know, donate 10% of Monday through Friday or Monday through Wednesday. If you get hair clients or whatever, donate a percentage of that to this project.
No, come on set and do everybody's hair.
Absolutely, like whatever we can contribute, like, because all of that is valuable, you know.
Yes.
So, and I think as filmmakers, we need to teach one another those types of things, or share best practices that we don't do enough.
I agree.
Because one of the things that I found is that I need new friends. I love you guys.
I love you too, but I agree 100%.
Right, and it's like, I got a crowdfunding campaign going on. I can't ask you because you got a crowdfunding campaign going on.
Right.
So, you know, we need to share our resources in terms of knowledge and best case practices, and, you know, some of the things that you do that make your filmmaking successful, and that's how we contribute to one another. But then we got to reach outside of our circle and then try to find other people, whether it's private investors or, you know, people that's willing to donate in-kind services like Keisha was talking about, to bring them on board as well. But again, we don't do it enough as a community to be able to help one another.
You know what? And can I just elaborate on that? I think you made some amazing points. One thing that I've seen through my career is that a lot of people bring the corporate mindset into the creative world. And what I mean by that is, and I have to tell people up front, is because, you know, I know you guys get the same thing. You get the DMs, you get the emails, you get the requests. Hey, I'd love to work with you. Let's partner together.
And my question always is, what is partnership and networking means to you? Because it may mean something different to me.
It means something different to everyone. And I've realized that a lot of people do not understand the ingenuity that we have to have when it comes to this business. This is not your typical 9 to 5. You're not going to get a paycheck every 2 weeks. You have to literally turn water into wine.
I like that.
You know,
and bring it to set.
And everything works out, because, like you just said, we can't be the only person on our team promoting this. You can't be the everything and then everybody comes to the table and wants to eat from your table.
Right.
And so in addition to us expanding, we're expanding to bring people to the table that have something else to offer, because it can't just be on us because we're the ones with the idea or we're the director and the writer. We got to have team members who are willing to really partner with us. Can you bring your resources? I don't care if you got Grandma and Mary Sue. Can Grandma cook catering for us so we can save money on that?
Yes.
Can Sue, you know, go to her boutique and let us borrow the clothes. So it doesn't always have to be financial, but it does require creativity outside the box in order for us to be successful. Because some people enter into this thing. I don't know what they thought, but they really believe in the magic of film.
Yes.
Because they think it's magical, and they don't realize, no, this is 3 a.m. call time. This is out here in the wilderness. We're out here in the heat. You know, I mean, I've done films on a daggone slave plantation, like real talk. We were on a real plantation.
Oh.
I've been underground where crap is dripping on my head. I mean, I've done all kinds of things, but because I love this industry, I'm willing to do it. You know, feet hurt and got corns, you know, cut yourself on something, fell in a patch of, you know, whatever. You know, just all those types of things.
No, I know about that one.
You know, just doing a project and they run in, an actor fell in a hole. I'm like, oh my goodness. So we have all kinds of things happen, but it is up to us to be extremely creative and pool all kinds of resources. And, you know, for those who are aspiring to do this, it doesn't mean that someone's going to come and finance everything. If they do, that's great. Right. But now you got to be able to utilize that money to the best of your ability. Everybody can't get $3,000 for 2 days worth of work. That, you know, I know you want $3,000, but that may not be the best place to invest in. And I've learned a lot with being resourceful and piecing my bubblegum and sticks together and making an amazing project.
Yes. Good.
Wow.
Good job. Yes.
Woo, that's some good stuff. Well, all right.
I know.
All right. Well, me, totally different from all of you. I'm very unique. I don't look for investors. I look for sponsors. What can you? My bottom line is, what do I need to get the project done? Not how much money somebody can give me. So I'll just say, this is what I need, and then I'll just make it known, this is what I need. If I need a property location, I get the person to give me that location. You don't need to give me no money. Just give me your location. You don't need to give me an account for food. I'm going to places like Chick-fil-A, Sam's Club, all those different companies, and I asked them to sponsor my project by providing me what we need. So we had Chick-fil-A provide us breakfast, lunch for the whole cast and the whole crew. We went to Sam's Club. Sam's Club gave us $1,500 worth of groceries. We just needed to go and just shop at Sam's Club. We got McDonald's to give us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's what I did. I just looked for sponsorship. Then I like horses. So I'd go to the ranch from time to time, and then I'll just talk to the people there, and I'll just be like, you know, this is what we need. So they would have equipment for when they did their filming of the horse. I can't say the word equestrian. And they would just say, okay, well, we have this equipment here if you want to use it. Yes, I do. So I would just, I just take out the equipment, and sometimes they'll be like, you can just have it. And I built equipment that way. The other thing I did is, instead of looking for filmmakers to film my stuff, I just went to a pawn shop and I put equipment in layaway, and then I purchased it that way. I got my first Mac laptop through a pawn shop. Paid $138 for it. I still got it, and it still works like it's brand spanking new. And then like when I go on these, now it's a little different for me now, because when I go on these sets, I'm actually around people that got real money. So I'm like, so now I've learned through going through being around the businessmen and women that I'm with now, I've learned the proper way to ask. I don't really ask. I just make it known, this is my need. I understand that you're looking to invest, and I always make it about them, not about what I'm trying to do. So I just simply, I believe it's that elevator speech you need to always have about who you are, your project, and what you're trying to accomplish. So if you have that 1 to 3 minutes, no more than 3 minutes, because our brain can't handle it. But 1 to 3 minute conversation that you can have with a wealthy person, then you can get them to listen to you. Just your first thing is, how can you make whatever you trying to accomplish benefit them? And it's not always their, and a lot of wealthy people, they want to invest in our independent projects. They don't want their name on it, and they don't want to be mentioned. They just want the credit for the taxes.
Right.
That's all they want. So if you can make your project interesting enough to them to make it a investment they can write off, you can get hundreds of thousands of dollars, boom, 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 for all your projects. And then the other thing that I would do is I utilized the cast, the crew, and I let them know, hey, this is a project you're in. You can invest in yourself in this project, because if I don't get it done, it's never going to be for anyone else to see. So why not invest in your filmmaker, in the project in which you're going to be an actor? You done called, you done begged, you done pleaded, cast me, cast me, cast me. Well, okay, now you're cast. Now I'm saying invest in you. So your project can get out there in the eyes of the viewer. Invest in you. It don't necessarily mean you got to put some money in. You can bring a dish that everybody can eat. So on my first project, we had all the cast and crew, bring one dish so everybody had something to eat, and that was our catering. Then then if they had homes and properties that they knew they could get you connected to, then they would help me get locations. So so we all worked as a team with each other, providing what we connect to. I have one of my actors, her name is Genesis. She's really been a blessing from day one. When she couldn't get me connected to one property, she got me to one person that knew a person that knew another person that actually ended up giving me their property, and then they gave me their property for 6 months to use.
Wow.
6 months, yeah. Then another crew member, she just went out to dinner and was talking to the owner that came to her table and told her about me filming, and she was like, oh, she can film here. Well, she actually gave me the keys to her restaurant so that we can film in her restaurant during the non-business hours. When we needed to do the business hours, she just said, let me know. And then I would go and film. Sometimes we would film 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then, those are the things. It's like, stop looking for the money and look for what is it that you need that can help you get it done. And then take advantage of outdoors. You can always film a great scene outside and tell a great story outside. And if you paid attention to any of majority of my early short films, all of them were filmed outside, guerrilla style. And I'm a writer where I can write it any kind of way. So I would write to the location. If you tell me I got a location, send me the pictures of the location, and I will film towards the location. So that's what I did. Instead of looking for, give me money, give me what it takes to get it done. So that's the due diligence part that I like for those that are watching this or listening in, however they able to do it. Do your due diligence and just figure it out. You listen to each one of these filmmakers on what they're doing. Take the time to go and make a list of what it takes to get it done. And I'm sorry, I have to put this in there because this happens to me a lot. I've had several filmmakers that get angry at me, upset, block me off of their page, and criticize me because they see what I'm doing, but they think because of what I'm doing, I'm supposed to invest in their project. But I need to do my project too. So my point is, don't ask another filmmaker to give money on your filmmaking project because they got a filmmaking project they got to get done, and they need that money, and they already did their due diligence to get that money. So don't ask for that money. And if they tell you no, don't get pissed off and block them. Well, you can if you want to, but it doesn't benefit you by leaving because we're doing so much, and you can learn from us. Is that good enough, guys? All right, y'all ready for that next question? All right, hold on a second. Let me get that next question in. The next question is, okay. I think this came off of Keema. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes, you are.
Okay, perfect. What advice would you give to a teenager? And if I may, I want to start this one, and then we'll jump around because I wrote these notes. I would give a teenager or a young kid the same advice I would give to an adult actor. Be creative in finding ways to market your talent and building your name as a brand. Create a website, create a fan Facebook page that shows your talents and your skills that you represent. Don't use it for nothing else but your talent. So that way, if a filmmaker is led to your page or you audition for something, they have something to go see your work. An audition is to see your work, not to like you, not to cast you just because you audition, but because we need a character filled out, not for you to just say, oh, hi, I saw you on Facebook page, cast me. No, we are going to cast you if you fit the character, not because of who you think you are as an actor or a talent. You got to show it, you got to prove it, but it's more than just acting. You have to come with some ethics, some value. Value yourself, but value our project and then value that character. Boy, do I get pissed off when you come and tell me how many changes you want to make to my character. I didn't spend too much time and energy writing that character. I don't need you to come tell me about my character and how you
Right.
want it. I'm sorry, I have to share this story. So I had this actor who I cast, and he did not want me to. The character was, it was a male actor, and I was trying to show a male in a better perspective than just a drug lord. So I made him a successful businessman, engineer, wealthy even, and he thought it was too gay because he was too straight up. So
What?
yeah, so he quit the role because I wouldn't allow him to do a what do you call the wife beater T-shirt and a boxing bag,
Oh, okay.
and so he quit, and I had to recast it, which is because. But anyway, so I share that to say, be the role that the writer, the filmmaker, the director created. Don't come in trying to make it what you think it should be, and you should not make it about yourself, period, as an actor, because it's not written for you, for your story. It's written for the story to be told about the character.
Right.
Okay. Oh, okay,
So
here you
this,
go.
this question is it for teen actor or
Yeah.
teen?
This one is
So
for
the
this is for teenagers, to want to how they get their acting out there, and so I'm just elaborating on, it's not about your age, whether you're a teenager, young or older. You got to do it all the same. You have to have your brand put together. You have to have a way to promote your acting, and then on top of that, you can't get a role if you don't submit an audition. You can't just do that. So the key is submit your audition. Even though it's a role you want, it might not be that particular role they may cast you for. It could be a whole different role that they may see fitting for you. So submit anyway, because you don't know how broad. And then also, they might know somebody that might be casting a role that they might recommend you to. So look broader than just narrow-mindedness in pursuing your acting career. Okay, I'll shut up from there. Go ahead.
I would recommend for a young person, and like you said, this goes across the board, no matter what your age
Yes.
is. But when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to parents of teenagers, that's kind of like that weird stage, because on a lot of the larger projects, people want the little teen offers, or they want someone over 18 to look younger. They want a 22-year-old to play the high school student or to play the college student, but you're actually 30. So when it comes to teenagers, like you said, Tone, having the website, putting themselves out there, but I also recommend classes. I don't know what it is with the actors that I run into. I think they're allergic to classes or something. They really think, these people, they really think that what they did 5, 10, 15, 20, 35 years ago constitutes education. And that's all they have to do. even in front of the camera, if Denzel Washington says that he's still taking acting classes, then why does the average person not think that they should continue to grow and sharpen their skills? So even for our young people, they need to take classes outside of the drama that's offered in school. They can't just rely on, Miss Crabgrass in her drama class, because she has a limited amount of time to teach you a particular thing, but you need to go to someone who is an expert, and you can practice outside of the realms of the classroom to sharpen your skills. And I recommend also that, there's an echo. I think there's an echo in here. I also recommend that the young person do theater, because theater teaches you how to do stuff live, and it teaches you how to deal with all the ever-changing things. I love working with theater actors because they know how to hit that mark. They always have their scripts memorized. They do the same thing every single time for continuity's sake. So if a young person can do children's theater, or they can do something, multiple things at school or stuff outside of school, that's going to be important, because it's also going to help them build their reel. It's very difficult to cast an actor from a picture. And I know that everyone thinks that they're gorgeous and they have these wonderful, beautifully lit pictures that sometimes are over photoshopped. Oh my goodness, and don't look like the person in real life. But that doesn't prompt me, casting director, to want to cast you because you're cute. What makes me want to cast you is how you perform on camera. What is your emotional availability? How well are you able to take this character and elevate it? Can you transform yourself to be the unpredictable thing? Like you said, Tony, he wanted to be the predictable, and you wouldn't let him do that. But can you be, a cop is not a cop is not a cop. Denzel's portrayal of a cop in Train Day was different than Ethan Hawke, and they were both policemen.
That's right.
You bring something different to the table, and that so you have to take classes. You have to have someone that is not emotionally connected to you, who's going to tell you the truth about your skills, and they're going to prune you and help change you to grow you. And that's outside of having an agent and a website and pictures. I will cast someone who's got the chops, but they don't necessarily have a great headshot, and they don't have a website and all that, because I know when I get them on set, they're going to bring something to the table, and they're going to make my job easy. Because I've seen the ones that have been polished up beautifully. I mean, we polished them beautifully. I mean, the website is on point, the pictures are on point, the skills are lacking. And I take skills over beautiful pictures any day, because then I can hire that person to make you look good on camera with the hair and makeup and the equipment. But if you don't have the skill set, I really can't do anything with you. So constantly learning and doing is how you can do it. Recorded, what we do take after take after take. So that's what I recommend for that in between age group. Get your child out there. Partner with colleges. There's always a graduating senior who has a project that needs to be done. And it's difficult for them to find people to cast because their friends have projects they have to get done. Partner with different theaters, but then also different colleges. Get in good with these teachers and say, hey, who are your graduating students? Will the photography students do headshots for my child for their final portfolio? Will the graduating seniors in the video department, can they cast my child so my kid can have something on their reel? And I know this firsthand, being an instructor at the Art Institute, that's where I used to work. If you hone in those skills, like you said, Tony, use your resources. You don't have the money. Find out what you need, and then find the people who are going to give you what you need.
That's right.
So that would be my recommendation.
Yeah. Okay. Can y'all still see me? Because I can't see me no more.
Yes. My thing is theater. I always tell kids to start off at theater. One, it teaches you discipline. It teaches you time management. It teaches you that you're responsible for others. Because have you ever been to a theater where one person lost their line? Good for the other ones that can come around them and pick them up and get them back on track. Okay. But that is like a domino effect when you're live. So I tell every kid, or when someone asks me, I'd be like, start off with theater. And every church or every local theater in your neighborhood is doing some type of play. But people want the big roles. They want it now. And they think that they're going to be on the set of something tomorrow. And parents don't want to hear anything negative about their child because they swear their child is the best. So you do have to take them to the studio and let someone that's not emotionally tied to them tell the mom, no, that's not good enough. So, and then we live in this Instagram world where everybody's a model and they're taking their own selfies, and that's fine. But a lot of directors will throw out your audition on a bad photo. Some will. So I applaud you for still taking them, but some will look at your bad photo and won't even give you a chance. Right. It just depends. It just depends. True. So, one, theater, two, invest in good headshots, anything else you can work around. Yep. That's just me.
And I do want good pictures. I'm saying like bare bones, but you're absolutely right. As we elevate and we get to a higher level, I don't accept that as often as I used to, because at some point, you saying that you've been doing this for 5 years and you haven't invested in good headshots, that's different than someone who's just finding their way and they've only, 5 or 6 months in. So you were absolutely right. They have to show that they've invested in themselves, just like they expect us to have the best equipment, lighting, and audio. You want me to come to the table with all the right stuff.
Exactly.
But you want to come as you are. Come on now, don't play those games.
No. And then I have one more thing for parents. If there's some parents out there that's thinking about putting their kids in whatever, you cannot pay $2,500 or $3,000 to get your child on Disney. It doesn't work that way. If someone is telling you to bring your child, we're going to line them up, you pay us $2,200, and we're going to guarantee them. If anybody is asking you guys for any type of fee up front, it is a scam.
Yep.
If that was the case, we all would be there. We all would have paid the $2,000 by now to get there. Yeah. So I see parents and they just want the fame or something for their kids, and their kids want it badly. Yeah. But please listen, if you have to pay any fee up front, it is a scam. Nobody gets paid until he or she gets paid. Right. Nobody. So that's just, that's sad when people take advantage of that and their dreams are shattered and stuff like that. Or they're going to these schools that's paying $2,500, $3,000 to show your kid how to walk. I mean, I can show you how to walk if you want to just give me the money. That's fine.
So right. I've seen it.
So I just want any teenagers that's listening right now, don't pressure your parents into paying this money. It doesn't work that way. You have to study your craft. You have to invest in your pictures, and you have to invest in your brand, in yourself, and be willing to put in the work, because you're going to do some things for free for the love of it. I filmed a film with Tone. I think we did a 24-hour turnaround time, and we had the best time. I filmed with her in a rainstorm. So one part of the movie, I probably had pretty hair. I don't know what happened with the end. So you have to do what you have to do. It's not going to be pretty, like you said. So you have to really love what you do and study your craft in order to be in this. It is not a game.
It's not a game. It's not a game. Anybody else want to add to anything on that? Okay. Well, the bottom line is for whatever level you are as an actor, whatever age you are as an actor, you have to make sure you create a platform for yourself to be taken serious as an actor. Like they have said, good pictures are important. But when you submit your auditions, you don't have to send 10 photos. We don't need 10 photos.
No photos with stuff in the background and no ears or anything like that. No.
Yeah.
But my favorite are the ones where it's the wedding party. And I'm supposed to know which person you are. I love those pictures. Yes, but continue. Yes, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. No, people, we need 1 8x10. I mean, with the digital world today, just a nice headshot, please.
So the key is to have a good headshot. One is all we need.
People. We don't want to see your mom, your dog, no. Plain wall. If you're going to take them at home, good lighting, plain wall with nothing in the background. That would even do it. But anything else, we don't want to see your pets and your parents and your best friend and y'all dressed alike and your boo, your bae. We don't need them on your picture.
And see, the longer y'all go on, I'm gonna start thinking of stuff. Like what you talked about earlier, though. Social media is important too.
Yes.
Because if young people have an image on social media, it could be an immediate turnoff, and they don't even know. Yeah.
They do. They post everything personal, emotional, and you're using that page with fine. Get a private page for those moments, but if you're going to promote yourself, like Tony said, have the separate page with all of your work on it. Not saying you can't use your social media for your personal use, that's your page, but have a separate page.
Right, I'm definitely not
go to and actually take you seriously.
Yeah, I'm definitely not saying that at all.
Casting directors, we look for opportunities to eliminate people to make our job easier.
That's right.
So you don't want to put yourself in the discard file immediately. So clean up your photos, clean up your social media pages,
clean up your pages,
everything. Because when we see them, we're already
judging
processing and interviewing you. And
yeah,
because people ask me all the time, like, "Well, you casting?" I'm like, "I'm always casting."
Always casting.
So I'm watching you right now.
Yeah.
No, I've heard they can't see my page anyway. I'm not their friend. Yes, we can see your pages.
Yeah, we can see enough.
Yes, we can. Anybody can still see your page without them being a friend. All it takes is one of your friends to share your page.
Right.
And there it is.
Well, I see y'all like that part.
Yeah, because I've heard that. Somebody told me, well, people can't, they're not my friends. They can't see it. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We've seen it. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So that one's going to piggyback onto the next question. The next question was, what's the benefit of being a SAG actor or a non-SAG actor? And I'm going to start on this one as well, and then let y'all run with it, because I know you will. This is just my thoughts from working with SAG actors and independent actors. SAG is more for union protection, guaranteed payroll, and holding the title as a A-lister. That's what SAG's all about. It was never meant to be just to have the title SAG. SAG is supposed to be a union to protect the actor. So you can chase SAG all you want. Nobody's saying SAG is not important, because it is, but it's more important when you are going for big budget projects than it is for independent projects. You can't be a SAG and come to an independent filmmaker and demand this is how much you're going to get paid, or make the request on how much you should be paid. Those are the demands you make on a big film production for Steven Spielberg, or maybe even Tyler Perry, but not for independent. And I know I post this a lot on my Facebook page, but I'm trying to give a bigger picture for you to understand. We are independent filmmakers. Yeah, we got a budget. We got a budget to take care of the stuff that needs to be taken care of to make sure the film gets done. It's not always about just getting a paycheck to you as an actor. It's not that we don't want to pay you, but we want you to understand there's two sides of that budget. You know, if you can't perform if you don't have a location to perform at. You can't you can't be filmed if we don't have the equipment to film. And not all filmmakers own their film equipment. Some of them actually rent them. So if they have to rent them, then they have to take that budget money to rent that camera or whatever equipment they need to film you. So coming with a demand like that on the independent filmmaker, it's a little tough for them. Me personally, a SAG should be when you're in a position that you can pay for it consistently with earned money from your acting, not from your job or anything like that, because SAG can cost anywhere for an actor from $700 to $3,000 a month. So if you cannot afford to pay that, sign up, and consistently do that, then you don't need to be SAG right now. And I just think if you're going to call yourself a SAG actor and be an accomplished SAG actor, then you should be in bigger films that can pay you where you can pay for it.
And working consistently.
Not just to say I'm SAG and this is what you need to do with my name because I'm SAG. I'm going to tell you right now, as soon as you tell me you SAG, I'm going to ask you some questions, and then I'm going to tell you I can't work with you. Because I'm not going to put my budget on you because you SAG. I'm going to put my budget on you because I need a project to get done, and I need the best quality actor that can deliver the role, not the title. That's Tone.
Well, I can tell you, in my experience, I don't care if an actor is a SAG, non-SAG, SAG, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We have roles. We have a certain amount of money that we're paying that person to take that role.
Yes.
If you don't agree with the money,
Mm-hmm.
don't take the role.
Don't take the role.
It's just that simple. And the thing is, and with us, we're very, especially over the years, we become very sensitive to when we sit in a room and we saying, okay, we're gonna pay you, 300 for this role, and we're looking for any kind of like, or because once that happens, it's like, you know what? Don't even worry about it, man. Because here's the thing: you don't. The last thing I want to work with is a disgruntled actor. That's the last thing I want to work with. I don't want to work with someone that feels that they're being undervalued on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And because you're not going to get the best out of that person.
Right.
That person is not going to be all there when you're trying to, get some work out of them. So yeah, like, so that's just what it is. We've had SAG actors work with us that just like, look, like, I'm down, but don't tell nobody, or something like that. And I'm like, man, all I need you to do is show up on time and do your job. That's it. So yeah, that's what I got to say on that.
I've seen where a lot of people, like you said, Tone, they want that title because they feel like it makes them something that they're not. And I think the union is amazing. I think it definitely has its benefits. What a lot of them don't understand is that, like Rodney just said, you now cannot do non-SAG projects. And so unless they're in an area like LA or they're in Atlanta, or if they have an agent that's constantly sending them on auditions, their work is going to be few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay if you do 3 projects a year. It's enough for you to live off of, like you said.
Yeah.
Not you do this plus you got to hustle on the side. It's cool if you have a hustle, but it becomes a burden if you don't make money in this industry to be able to handle those dues and not take away from your bill money with your regular job. And I just think that they don't understand the commitment that you're expected to have as a union participant. Again, it's not right or wrong, it's not good or bad. They just need to understand what they're doing and what they're getting into.
Right.
Because there's a whole lot of smaller projects that you could do. You could get paid, you can build your resume, you'll have a lot more opportunities to build with people, meet new teams, travel. So there's a benefit of not being union, because I've had actors ask me that.
Yeah.
So go ahead and boom, straight off the rip, want to be union. Well, that's up to you and what your end game is and what your goal is for right now. There's a lot of us doing projects with budgets that are great projects that you can put on your reel and you will look very professional because our names are on them, so we want our stuff to look good. You can definitely partner with those of us who don't necessarily have to have a union actor. We're not doing a SAG shoot because of whatever qualifications we do or don't have for that shoot, but they got to weigh their options. You've got to decide, is it worth it? Because again, if you're not in an area to consistently work on union projects, you're not going to be working consistently. Yep. And if the reality hits them and now they come to us, we'll have a lower budget or we'll have a few $100,000, and now they're looking at us like, well, I expect this and I want that. Well, you can't be disgruntled with me because you joined the union and now you're not working. That's not the burden that I need to carry, nor the attitude that I should have to endure because you made a decision that has now limited you.
Right.
And I've run into that with some actors because they live out in Bootyville, Texas, or in Omaha, or Nebraska and the flatlands or whatever these things are called. They're living in places that it's not a wealth of projects, and so they're clamoring and they want to work. And so then people like us, and we get that repelled attitude and personality because they're kind of getting rejected in Hollywood, and they're not getting roles they thought the tag of saying I'm a SAG actor is supposed to just automatically give them. So just, as an actor, weigh your options. And is it more important to have a title and those types of benefits because you're working consistently and you want the protection, or is it better for you to wait a few years, get your chops up, build your connections, work on smaller projects, paid and free, so you can be more valuable and then you can handle the responsibilities of being SAG.
Right. Wow. All right, then. Here's the last question, guys. I had a couple of questions, but I think the next question would be more of just a video by itself instead of all of this because it's just too much to it. And unless you got something short that you can put into it, and it is how to do a treatment. I have an outline that I can do a video on how to do a treatment so that you can get your script or film into the higher sector if that's what you want. But there's just so much information to that. I didn't want to kind of overwhelm trying to do that with all of us together. But if you have some thoughts on that you'd like to share, feel free to do so as we go over this last question. And the last question is share about your creative process. How do you decide the project that you're going to work on? And well, we all kind of pretty much covered this because it's a two-part question. And that was how do you determine actors, your value and etiquette in relation to actors? And we kind of touched on that, but just kind of elaborate on what you feel you like to add to that.
For me, it has to be a passion project. Not in terms of it had to originate by something that I'm passionate about, but something that gives me the passion to complete it. And a lot of times, most of the stuff that I've worked on have been my own projects, whether it initiated from something personal or some story that I fell in love with. But for me, it's a logical next step. Most of what I do, and you guys kind of see my company's name and everything, I have a brand, I have a covering that everything I do kind of falls under that. Of course, I stray outside of it a little bit, but most of it is meaningful, it's impactful. So we've done a lot of stuff with breast cancer awareness, domestic violence, sexual assault, like a lot of heavy topics, and we try to do it in a new way because, of course, those topics are everywhere and a lot of things are going on. But I try to find fresh stories that still cover some of those heavy topics. So the project that we're working on now with the crowdfunding, Malachi, is kind of multi-level in terms of the themes. So it covers things like abandonment in the foster care system, racial relations, mentoring. So all of these things are wrapped up in there together. So it allows us to tell stories with so many different impacts. So the five of us that are here talking, we can all find ourselves in this story. We'll find ourselves liking one character, loving another character, hating another character, because there'll be, stories that we can all relate to. But at the same time, it's bringing out some message that we weren't expecting. And so that's kind of how I choose projects. Always put my little twist on it as a director, of course. And then the things that I'm inspired to write, they are things that moved me or impacted me or someone close to me in a lot of cases.
Okay.
I was watching a movie the other day with, I forget the name of it now, with Ben Affleck and Anne Hathaway, where Anne Hathaway's character is a reporter. And so that triggered some things that I've experienced as a newspaper reporter. And then I came up with this whole story idea that will talk about, some of the things that I experienced, but from a different aspect. So when I see something, I hear something, I meet somebody, it can trigger something that will give a unique perspective and have people come into this story that's in my head. And so that's kind of how I decide, what I'm going to work on next and what impact. And like I said, it has to build on something that I already did. It has to be a natural progression, or else it's just a hobby.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Okay. Don't everybody jump in all at one time.
For me, it's a variety of
Sorry.
ways. Me and my business partner is my two business partners are the main writers. They write. That's what they do. I mean, they have scripts upon scripts upon scripts that that they write. They'll they'll send me some of them, and for me, I like to be challenged. I like to be challenged. I like to show that as a filmmaker, that I have diversity. So I want to do everything. I want to do everything that is going to present a challenge that is really going to get me to learn and have to adapt new skills. And I don't really have I want to do something that is going to inspire or something. And if it entertains me, I hope it entertains everybody else. So but I do get excited about when I read a script and I'm like, wow, that's going to be tricky, but I believe we can pull this off. And that's what really get me to be like, you know what, let's do this one. What the most recent one we did, I called Restless. It was all about the fight choreography. It was about and it's we had a female lead and on it. So I just seen John Wick 3, and I'm kind of like, okay, how can we pull fighting like that off with a female lead doing that type of stuff. And so that's like I said, that's what got me up for that, and even if I don't think, I'm like, I'm not sure we can do this, my business partner Tavares, he's always like, yes, you can.
Got it. No, you got to at least try it.
You gotta try.
Oh, he's like, look, let's just go for it. It's, and if we, as long as it doesn't absolutely suck, I think we've done a good job.
And you can always in the edit room chop it up to make it look real good.
Exactly, and I think he's definitely one of the major forces that enables me to really be like, you know what? Yeah, we can pull that off. How much do we have? Let's try it.
Let's try it.
Let's try it. Let's go for it. Yeah. But yeah. So that's it. That's it for me.
That is good. Well, I've been blessed to be on both sides, so I think what makes me take on a project is the script. and the message that that character will be delivering. And if I can do that, I have the spirit and I'm blessed with saying no. So I don't have a problem walking away from any project that I don't feel good with, I don't feel comfortable with, or certain scenes. I'm really good at that. I think a lot of people take roles just to say they're in something or busy or doing busy. I'm very, very particular what I'm going to take, and that's the acting side. As far as the filmmaking side, my partner and I, we're writing things that we've seen all of our lives, things that's happening now, things that we want to see on television, want to see on film. So that's been a blessing to be able to have that creative control on that part. And it's like you said, you want characters and you want people that bring the character to life. I think a lot of people step to the directors and the crew and the set as they've been practicing it. They have what the character is in their head. They are waiting for you to do something to make them react a certain type of way. They don't allow you to direct them. Those people will never be on my set. If we cannot direct you, we know what the character is doing. We know what the character is, look like, breathe, the backstory, and all of that. You're coming in reading a piece of the character. And if you decide to take on the character, what I would do is tell them to tell me the backstory. What do you think that character is? Tell me where that character's been, what they're doing, what they like to do, what are they Turks? Are they sitting there eating all Cheetos all day? Make me see what you're saying so that we can all work together, like you said. But at the same time, don't change what we've written. It's our character. We need you to bring the character to life. Not come in here and tell us what the character should be, what the character going to look like, what clothing the character's going to wear. No. You're off our set. I'm not going to even play with you with that. You don't get a second chance because you're telling me you're not going to be. If I have to work with you for 10, 20 days on this set, you're the one person that's just going to make everybody's job hard, down to the lighting, down to the crew, down to the camera person, down to the PA. You're the one person that's showing up late, demanding food as soon as you walked in the door. You're already telling me your character, your personality. We are not dealing with you with that. So I learned that from a mentor. So see,
I did hear that.
You have some people that you just cannot direct, and I'm okay with saying no, and I'm okay with walking away and saying no for projects that I'm being offered. As if I feel like I can't do your film justice, if I don't have the time, if I don't believe in it, if I don't want to be there all the way, then I'm gonna say no. I don't have a problem with that. A lot of people just want to say they're busy, look what I'm doing, but they didn't give the character any justice. They didn't bring 100%, and you wasted everybody's time on the project.
Because I get rid of them quick.
Real quick.
Real quick. That's too much time, energy you put into pre-production to have to waste time dealing with them on the set. Because that's the thing that people
feel like they don't want to take the time to redirect or audition. But you've had 50 people audition for it. Just go back in your file.
Yeah.
And that's what your assistants are for. Go back and give me another one. You already had probably 2 or 3 that you thought about that would be good. But you gave this person a chance.
That's right.
And here they come with the ego, the pride. And we need all that outside the door. All I need you to do is be the character. That's it. So you have diva in both male and female, and they will show up. They will show up. So you just got to watch it. You learn a lot from just watching people. You really do. So that's why social media is so important.
Yes, it is. And that's why I cast early on so that I can have time to let them eliminate themselves. Because most of them are already impatient. So their impatience is going to help show them their true selves. Not their acting, their true selves. So I cast early. And I let them kind of linger until they get so annoyed with me lingering that either they'll quit or they'll show themselves unapproved. And then I'll just simply say, you know what? We are just not a fit. You go ahead and get booked. Be booked wherever you want to be booked. I need somebody that wants to be more than booked. They really want to be on the project.
They really want to be on the project. They have to believe in the project themselves.
And that they will care enough about the character to give that character good life. Sometimes they
Yes.
don't even care about the character. They even study it. And
They
I
just
know,
want to show up. They just want to be on
and they
camera.
think I don't know, but I'm looking at you and I'm watching you. And if I have, and here's one thing I've learned about actors that are really committed to their role. And anybody that's watching this that's an actor, please pay attention to this. If you are an actor, you come ready. I don't need to keep having you repeat the line, have me read the line to you. You're giving me so many different options to choose from because you've been working on this character to bring it to life on your own. But if you come to set and I'm having to, I shouldn't have to direct you in that way as a seasoned actor that love what you do. My directing is very easy if you are an actor that love what you do. If you're an actor just skipped into it and it's just something you just woke up this morning and said I want to be an actor and you just happen to get that opportunity to be that role and then all of a sudden you don't even know your lines or you done changed the lines because you can't remember the lines trying to pretend like you improving and you're not. And then I'm trying to tell you, okay, this is where the character is, where it needs to go from. And then I have to read you line per line. You didn't do your homework. You didn't care. You were just so happy to be on, oh, sorry, this ain't an ego thing, a HCE Brown project. So you can tell everybody, oh, I'm on HCE, do your videos. Yeah, I'm working with HCE. HCE's brilliant, blah, blah, blah. But then as soon as HCE don't do it the way you think you want her to do it, now you're mad at HCE and you want to put all your little negative talk out. It wasn't HCE, it was you not taking responsibility for yourself as an actor. And an actor is more than just the title actor. Actor is also a business. And you need to
Yeah.
communicate and you need to operate as a business. If we become friends, that's a natural thing that will happen. But don't come trying to befriend me thinking that's going to get you recast, or get you good treatment on set. Because I cast you to do a project, not to become my best friend. But if it naturally happens to be my friend, I'm cool with that. But don't charm me, don't sweet talk me, and don't come on set trying to get everybody else to get on your page for whatever your agenda is. Don't get yourself fired trying to do it your way. That's a Tone rant.
That's that.
That's
Oh my God, that's lovely. But the biggest thing I think we all really wanted to put forth to anybody that's watching this or that come back to watch it is what we said early on: due diligence, especially for filmmakers. You know, you have to do your homework for yourself. You have to make a decision. How are you going to operate a business as a filmmaker, director, whatever of these titles that you decide to give yourself or been given to you on this industry? Um, it's just as much on you as a filmmaker as it is on the actor. That actor is coming to you, depending on you to deliver a project and run a proper set that they can feel confident, safe to share their skills and talent with. So you cannot disrespect and you cannot abuse the actor because they come to work on your film project with you. And it doesn't matter whether you're paying them or not paying them. You still need to respect them and respect their skills and their talent, and vice versa. Actors, you
yes.
can't come on set acting like you're all cocky, ego, divalicious, trying to control things and talking through the whole project or trying to tell the filmmaker how his project's supposed to run. You don't need to come and do that. Your job and our job is we come, work together, get a project done. Period. All the other stuff, your
That's
personal
it.
stuff, your personal life, your whatever's going on in your life, don't bring it on set. Don't bring it on set. Come ready to work because we put in a lot of energy, time, mental thought, work
Resource.
to just have the set ready for you.
Yep.
Bottom line, it don't start with you arriving on the set. It starts at the very beginning, coming up with the script, breaking down that script, getting locations, getting equipment, getting scheduled, and working on everybody that's coming to be a part of this team to be scheduled. That's the actor, that's the crew, that's the director. We all have to work our schedules to come into one. And if you're late, you're causing delays. And if you don't show up, then you're causing a mess. And I am so over it when it comes to mess and chaos when it comes to my filming and my set, because
Absolutely.
I've always been this way from day one, and I know that upsets people, but I'm really a stickler to it now that I'm working with a different caliber of filmmakers, investors, and bigger projects. I just don't have the time to baby you. So I'm sorry. We want to cast you, we want to work with you, but there's just no time to baby you in order to get these projects accomplished, completed, and done for a network to even want it. And you know, when you get a network to say, yeah, they could change their mind at a drop of a dime. It don't matter how much you filmed, how much is done, how much you've invested. That don't matter. That investor, CBS, Fox, whoever that company is, they're wanting a completed project, and it is up to that filmmaker, producer, director, editor, writer to get it done. And we can only get it done if we have the right team of people in that project working together. And the reason I want to bring these wonderful, and I thank you so much for doing this with me. I apologize that it didn't go as smooth as I had hoped, but I'm going to work out those glitches. But this was so wonderful because there was so much knowledge shared between all of us, that I think that if people that are really filmmakers wanting to be that, or even actors, you got the understanding of both sides of the party, and you got the understanding that it's not just something to throw up and say, I booked it. It's more than that. And I just want you guys to win. I want all my filmmakers to win. I want to win. I want to win with you. But I can't win with you if you're going to come acting a fool. That's just my thought. So I
They
need,
told me you got bars.
huh? I got some bars. Richard. No, but I'm just so. I guess the thing is, I'm just so serious about this thing. I feel this is such a beautiful gift that we all have, no matter what story we tell and what form we tell it in. Even if we tell the same story, it's still told differently. You know, I get people ask, why you post so much on Facebook? Why are you telling all the secrets? Because it's really no secret.
Right.
It's not, you know, and I can't share something. I can share something, but it's not going to be the same way somebody else may take it. They might take my ideal and run with it, but they might do something completely, totally different with it. So I don't care. I don't care, because whatever God's given me is for me, and it's gonna run and jump no matter how high I need it to, whether you steal it or not. Because when you steal it and take it, you're going to do it your way, and it may not come across the same. But also keep in mind, you have a different audience than any of us have that's looking at your work. And so if you present it your way, then your audience gets it. But they may never see what I did. So with that means we all of us are in it together. I don't care what your position is as a filmmaker. And when we get so big headed and so titled and devilicious ourselves, we missing the gifts we actually have, that we have to share and that we can do to bring us all up to a whole new level. And I'm telling y'all something. The last few months before this COVID-19, my mentors had me in the middle of the mix of so many other filmmakers, A-list actors, walking the red carpet with the Oscars, the Golden Gloves. I did all that behind the scenes. I don't believe everything has to be put on Facebook. I'm doing things, but I don't feel like I have to share and post everything I'm doing. But no, I'm doing something. But the thing is there's a door that is about to open wide for African Americans, blacks, whatever title you want to give us. We just beautiful black people. But there's a door that's about to open up for filmmakers, independent, because a lot of those networks like CBS, NBC, Fox, all of them, they're actually reverting to what we've been doing all along.
Yeah.
That's why you have the popularity of Amazon Prime, the popularity of Netflix and Hulu, because they're gearing towards what we've been doing the whole time. So that means we already got a heads up. All we got to do is just utilize it in the right way and then make this magic go so that way they follow suit to us, and all the big dogs that's been controlling everything no longer has control. So you got to really look at the bigger picture. And when I post my post, that's all I'm trying to do, guys, is help you see the bigger picture of what is really happening so that you can be ready for, and I mean that for you, Rodney, Chuck, Keema, Keisha, that's for all of us. I'm telling you, if I could get you in my brain to see the stuff that I've seen, you will be jumping out of your skin for what's about to happen. You know, Chuck, you got that $10,000. There's 100 million coming your way. You
I
just,
received that.
you see what I'm saying? Because you're already in position. Yeah, you better receive because you're already in
Absolutely.
position. You're already independently positioned and you have ownership. You see what Perry did?
Right.
People want to criticize him, but look what he did. Who
Right.
cares about his attitude or what he does? He accomplished something great, and so will we. But we got to be in
Absolutely.
position, and we got to find a way. God, and that's the reason I'm doing this kind of stuff. We got to find a way to be more uplifting with each other, for each other, because
Mm-hmm.
when this wave kicks in and we are there, I don't want us to do what we've done in the past and knock ourselves back down.
Right.
We got to find a way to rise with it all. And
Yeah.
that's what I want for all of us. Did this help,
Awesome.
guys? Do you feel
Yes.
this helped?
Yes.
This is awesome.
Okay, because we need this, and if you guys are open to it, we can do it again when I fix my glitches and stuff. You are open to it, okay?
I'm down.
Yeah. So once I get the glitches fixed, we may just have to do a separate filming and then post it that way until we figure out this Facebook thing.
Right.
On Instagram, it's actually a lot easier. On
Yeah.
Instagram, you can just chime in. Well, I thought Facebook would work the same since they own both of them. But I was wrong. But that's okay. I've been getting like little messages on the side, so people are actually watching and listening to what they can hear. But before we go, because I know we all have to have dinner, I have some chicken. I'm ready to go and eat the chicken bone. Did you have any last thoughts that you like to put in?
Um, no, just right now, we're at a time where, that's unprecedented. You know, um, with all this COVID-19 stuff going on. Just encourage everybody to just use this time to learn and to stay creative. That's the big, that's the major thing. I've never worked with green screen before. That's
Oh,
what I've been teaching myself all, for the past 2 weeks is, how to work with green screen and stuff like that. Um, so that when, we do start filming again, that's going to be a skill I can, successfully, um, up the production value of our
Mm-hmm.
projects with.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's all I have to say on it. And yes, support indie film.
Yes.
You got we gotta support, you know each other, just like we would want, people to support us,
Exactly.
so
Right.
Yes.
yeah.
And I would just add this: my not clicking like does not mean I'm not supporting. Sometimes I,
Oh,
sometimes I'm just too busy to go through and read everything and click on everything. But I do
right.
stream and I see things, but I ain't all into the likes and stuff. It's just I'm just observant and I'm observing you because
Right.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you if I got you here.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, your numbers say it all. We when we put King of Kings on Amazon Prime,
Mm,
we we started sending blasting it out and stuff, and we weren't really at first getting the type of response that we thought that like, hey, what's going on? There's people watching, and then Amazon sends us that report.
and that check.
Yeah, and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, never mind.
yeah.
Proceed. So yeah, it's like it's really not all about the getting the thumbs up and all that stuff like
Hmm.
that. As long as people are aware that your product is out there and that they're taking the time to actually click that link
Yeah.
and watch it. At the end of the day, that's all. That's all. That's all that that as a filmmaker I care about.
Yeah, and one of the
Right.
things Amazon's doing, because Amazon has two platforms. They have the Amazon Direct, and then they have Amazon Prime, where they actually invest in those projects. And what they're starting to do now is go and look at a lot of the independent films that are coming through Amazon Direct, and they're going to be shifting them and moving them over to actual Amazon Prime. So you're going to be seeing some of those things happen, but also like through my mentor, Amazon. They're actually investing in my projects, and like this Gavin Hook, I'm just doing. They've already had me do season 1 and 2, and then I'm just giving me permission to do 3 and 4. So we're going to have 4 actual seasons of Gavin Hook. Yeah. And then I'm in the process of negotiating with them now because Netflix dropped my Whispers, but Amazon's looking to pick it up. So I see you. So,
Oh,
so I shared that to say that Amazon is shifting a lot of things over because they're trying to keep themselves in that running, like what's been taking place with a couple of their series that actually won Oscars.
Right.
right.
And so they literally just helped me get registered where when we do release Gavin Hook, the actors will be in position to be nominated for Emmys, including myself as an Emmy director. So I'm sharing that to say that, for the independent, different doors are starting to open up.
I
Granted,
know.
a lot of the stuff is opening up because of my 12 wise men to whom I'm working with, but I'm in the background trying to find ways to push it forward so that when you guys are in position and ready, I can put the nugget out there for you guys to start getting in there and getting those opportunities too, because this thing is going to bust wide open. And I'm telling you guys, there's some things coming down the pipe. I wish I could really just talk about, but I don't want to get in no trouble either.
Right.
But just hold tight to what you're doing, stay committed, stay fired up, and then and Chuck, one of the things I admire what you do is you're rising up other writers at the same time while you're growing, and you're helping them get their projects out there while you're growing. And I think that's a beautiful seed planting that you're doing that is going to just explode. I just see it happening there. And I know I'm not one of them, but I just still, on their behalf, just want to say thank you for sharing your heart the way you do and loving people the way you do to help them any way that you could. And I just think
Thank
that's
you.
beautiful.
I appreciate you saying that. I don't have 12 wise men, so, and I never had it, but I tried to make sure whatever position I got in, I could at least help somebody else.
And
And
yes,
so,
amen.
you know, as like you said, as I continue to grow, I want to help other people grow. You know, I might not be able to offer them everything, but I can offer them a little bit more than what they have. And I'm just still looking for, you know, that one or two mentors that will do that for me to take me to the next level. But that doesn't stop me from being able to help other people where I am. And so that's what I try to preach to other people. Like, no matter where you are, you have a little bit more knowledge than somebody else. And you can still help somebody. You don't have to wait till you arrive and get to that place where I don't have to wait till I get $100 million budget. I can do that with $1,000 budget.
There you go. So, yeah. And keep in mind, at the beginning, we did everything free, so we know that it can get done. And that's and that's the main mentality I take into the level that I'm at now. When I did Rough Patch Twisted Fate, I had 63 actors. That project was budgeted for $300,000.
Okay.
But it took me about $2,000 to do it.
Okay.
And that's a 6-hour project. It's a mini series, 2 parts, 3 hours here, 3 hours there. And I did it all for free. So I share that to say it's not always about the money. How do you get it done? That's the bottom line. Do whatever you need to do to get it done, however you can get it done. Sponsorship, investors are your own money. Yes, I did just like you, Keema. I put my money aside and I invested and I paid for everything. Sometimes I would have a quarter tank of gas, but I was making sure the actor had gas or they had food and just denied myself and then cried and prayed that I just make it home after everything was over with and done, you know? Right. So yeah, we're sacrificing to make this happen. And I just really want our viewers, actors to understand there's 2 sides of it always. So don't just make it always about yourself. If I don't get anything across to anybody, please don't make it about you. It's a team effort for all of us if we're going to make it.
Absolutely.
How about that? Feel good, guys? You feel good about what we did?
Yes.
Yeah, y'all look like y'all look like y'all felt good. Y'all look like after being all stuck in on that COVID-19, y'all needed to get some of that juice out. But
we're waiting for some of that chicken you got.
What you say? It's some good chicken too. I didn't cook it, but it's some good chicken. I love Winn-Dixie chicken. I don't know why, but it's Winn-Dixie chicken. But what I was going to say, somebody asked one of the questions I didn't write down, and I apologize for not doing that. Somebody triggered it and said it. Dang, I can't think of it now. I guess I wasn't supposed to cover it then. There's a reason. I can't think of it now. It just totally left my... Oh, now it came to me. Somebody posted on somebody, I don't know if it was mine or one of you's. The question was, with the COVID-19 going on, what can I do as a filmmaker to stay busy or to be able to produce? Alrighty. And I've posted on my page several times, Tongal, TONGAL.com. That is a filmmaker's dream website. They have projects that you can submit in and they pay you for those projects. You can win money through your projects. You can get connected with different networks with the projects, and you can get plenty of commercial opportunities with that website. It's tongal.com. And I'll post it again later on my page again. But you can go and do some they got commercials going on where you can just film nature. You can buy a bag of Doritos and do a Doritos commercial. You can do all those things and you can simply get paid for it. So that's one way you can be filming, being creative and make some money as a filmmaker while you're at home. One thing I learned through going through the program with my mentors is everything should be done with index cards. You write your script out on your index cards so that way you can organize your story. Because when you write it in a script, you just got the script. But if you write it out with your index cards, if you need to change positions of the script, all you have to do is move the index cards.
And if you have Final Draft, anybody out there, they have the index cards and all the notes on the side, so you can use that as well.
Yeah, you can. I can't use it because that and I have to write it out.
But Final Draft has index card.
Yeah, so you can do the index card. Also, Celtics has the index card too as well.
Yeah, I was about to say Celtic too.
Yeah, I love Celtics, man. I mean, I'm using when I do actual television shows, I use Magic. But when I'm doing my own thing, I use Celtics because Magic is their requirement for how they want their stories written and the outline that it must be in
Okay.
and what format. So
Okay.
when I'm writing for them or putting the script together for selling, I use it on that. And so that's another opportunity. You know, you got your filmmakers. You also have opportunities to make money with your scripts. So, you know, get your scripts together and ready. So when the doors start opening up for you to sell them, they're ready.
Right.
They're ready because they're looking for content. They're hungry for content. January, I got a box and it had like 350 scripts in it, and I literally had to go through all those scripts to try to find scripts for the fall. And I'm happy about it. 2 of them got picked up, but yay. But I had 350 just to find that too.
Right.
You know, but opportunities there, guys. Opportunities. Thank you so much, guys, for being a part
Nice
of
meeting you
this.
guys.
Yes, it was a pleasure. Peace, love, and soul. I'm just kidding. I know I'm goofy. All right, bye, guys. Have a great one.